Internet, Eric here. It's 4th of July. Happy 4th, everybody. And I have a 4th of July themed movie discussion for you today. While most people probably would be discussing Independence Day or Saving Private Ryan or Born on the 4th of July, not me. If you saw my last unboxing video, you know that I got this on eBay for about 12 bucks, specifically to discuss on this holiday. Haven't seen it in about 15, 20 years. Today I'm going to talk about Uncle Sam. So like I said, I haven't seen this in basically 15, 20 years. So I watched this and went in basically blind. New to my channel, welcome. Plot spoilers happen, blah, blah, blah. Basic plot of this is Sam was a soldier in Desert Storm. His chopper was shot down under friendly fire. A couple soldiers find his downed chopper. He's burnt to a crisp. He wakes up, kills those two soldiers. Because we find out that Sam was eventually the soldier, a person who joined the military because he enjoyed the killing. Okay, and then he dies. His body is shipped back home, and before he's buried in his grave, it's during a 4th of July weekend, and there's this big 4th of July celebration going on in the town. This yearly celebration. He wakes up due to people being un-American, be it rednecks burning the flag. People cheating on their taxes. You know, Robert Forster shows up as a crooked politician. Sam takes care of them in his own way, dressed as like the Uncle Sam character. And the only people to stop him is his nephew and Isaac Hayes. Wow. I remember going into Blockbuster. Remember when you could actually rent videos, you know, not Redbox. And I remember the VHS cover of this. It wasn't this. It was one of those covers where you can move. And it was like, the image would change, and it was, you know, someone in an old, basically like this. This is the mask he wears, Uncle Sam mask, and you move it, and he turns into a monster type of thing. And it came out around the time, you know, when everything was a killer. There were so many straight to video, low budget killer movies, like, you know, Jack Frost and what have you. So I knew of its reputation. I knew booze would probably help, and I'll tell you what, the booze did help with this, and I'll get to it. First off, we'll get to the acting. Nothing spectacular, which is to be expected. Probably the best actor in this film is Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes plays a veteran of the Korean War. He's got a peg leg, which, you know, they talk about it. That goes nowhere in the story. But he's the one who Sam looked up to. And he's the one that knew Sam enjoyed the killing too much, type of thing. And like I said, he does good when he's talking to Sam's nephew, talking about how bad Sam was, and the nephew wants to join the military to be like Uncle Sam. And Isaac tells him, no, you can't do that. You'll just come home in a pine box type of thing. You don't want this type of future. So Isaac Hayes is very good. He's very likable. Everyone else is pretty much meh. Not horrible, but not great. The kid who plays the nephew, I think his name is Jody. He's okay. The kid, there's his mom, and then Sam's widow. Yeah, I can't tell them apart because they look similar. They're blonde, and their acting style is just, it's okay. Robert Forster shows up as a politician. He's in it for like 3 minutes. Nothing. He does nothing. PJ Souls shows up as her mom. She's the mother of a young kid in a wheelchair who was caught in a fireworks accident from last year's 4th of July celebration. She's just there to say like 3 or 4 lines and then faint when all the crazy shit's happening. So the acting is just okay. Nothing special, but it's not cringeworthy. So that's fine. And then Uncle Sam, you know, Sam, whatever, he doesn't have a lot of dialogue. Like I was thinking he was going to be one of these, I'm going to have tons of puns shooting out of my mouth. He barely talks. It makes him seem menacing, but there's not really much to the character. I don't know if they were trying to make him like Jason or Michael Myers, which is a cool concept, but it's hard to take him seriously when he looks like that. But what have you. I will say this, the gore, for the most part, is pretty decent, considering this probably had a budget of $5. First off, I'll say the makeup effect. Like, this is what Sam looks like before he steals the costume. So To me, he looks kind of like the dude from Lord of Illusions. You know, the Clive Barker movie. Looks okay, not great, not bad. Um, the mask he when he takes the costume of Uncle Sam, he just looks ridiculous, which I think is the point. But we'll get to the gore. It's not bad. A lot of the kills are off screen, but you see the after effect a lot. There is a kid who is he. It's this scene right here. God, I keep opening this fucking thing. He gets his head cut off, and the cut obviously is off screen, but the fake head looks decent. There is one person who gets impaled with an American flag, which is looks pretty good. My favorite kill is probably um, when Sam wraps a string around a kid's neck and he's raising him up the flagpole, and the string slowly cuts into his throat. It's kind of a low key effect, but it is effective because you see the blood started to slowly pouring out of the neck as the kid's getting strangled. So it's okay for the $5 budget. I like the concept of how what he wakes up. It's kind of like out of Jason X or just out of the Friday the 13th films in general. You know how Jason, you know, the kids are having premarital sex and dope and smoking dope and all this stuff, and then that's when Jason shows up. Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam wakes up from his slumber, I guess, because he's in his casket and it's in the living room of his widow. And there's some flag burners at his grave. They're burning the American flag and they're swinging the flag around, and some of the burnt flag falls into his grave, and that's what wakes him up. And it's cool because I like that whole scene, because as he gets out of the coffin and he goes into Jody, his pretty sure that's the kid's name, his nephew's house. His Jody has Sam's medals, and Sam takes back all of his medals and his purple heart, and it's cool how he pins them on himself, but he's got no undershirt. He doesn't pin him on his uniform. He literally takes him and sticks him in his burnt skin, and of course the purple heart he puts over his heart. So that was cool. I liked that idea. And you know what? I thought I was thinking this is gonna be good because it's very clear that the director who did, William Lustig, he did the original Maniac. It was written by the guy who did It's Alive and the stuff or whatever. They know what this movie is. It starts off in Kuwait. They find Sam's chopper. He kills one guy by snapping his neck, and it's an out of nowhere snap, which is cool. Shoots the commanding officer to death, which looks really cool, and then he dies. And then what happens is it fades to black, and then it's Stars and Stripes Forever plays, and then you get the credits showing, and you got this, you got three blocks here. You got American flag, the middle of the screen, which is full of American propaganda, what have you, and pro-America stuff, like Uncle Sam, cereal commercials from like the 40s and stuff, and then you got the American flag over here. So you're looking for a good time. But the problem is, you get those. This is a major problem I had. You have that really cool opening, and then you got the cool opening credits, and then Sam doesn't come to life until like 40 minutes into the picture. And that's a problem because you're getting all this, what do you say, exposition from all these other characters that's taken way too goddamn long. I mean, we understand that Sam was a bad guy. He liked the killing too much. He was abusive to his wife. He was abusive to his sister, perhaps sexually abusive to his sister when they were younger. Kicked out or ran away when he was 14, type of thing. But it just drags on and on and on when this is a movie where we want to get to the killing. But once the killing happens, I'm starting to have a lot of fun. Like I said, I like the kills. I like Isaac Hayes in this. I like how he's taken this little boy, Jody, and he's convincing him what his uncle really was, the type of character his uncle really was. And then when the kid sees Uncle Sam in action, him and Isaac, they get this team together. Him, it's Isaac, it's Jody, and then you got the little kid in the wheelchair. PJ Souls' kid, which I got to say something about him. Um, to stop Sam. Um, but it just takes 40 minutes to get to the good stuff. And it's a long, long 40 minutes. Let's talk about the kid in the wheelchair. This kid was unnecessary, especially when we first meet him. Like I said, previous year prior, he was caught in a fireworks accident. He does have some cool burn makeup effect on the side of his face. He's in a wheelchair. He's got glasses on, so I'm assuming he's blind. But this is probably the worst actor in this entire film. And it's really awkward just watching him. He's kind of reminded me a lot of Bran from Game of Thrones, because he's in a wheelchair, he doesn't do anything, and then by the end of the film is the kid psychic, because he makes it seem like he knows what's going to happen before it happens type thing. So I don't know if it was like a nod to The Shining, because this is way before Game of Thrones, or what, but the kid's acting, the character itself, is just totally unnecessary and boring. And then there was this one weird scene where Sam is dressed as, he's in the Uncle Sam outfit now, and he walks up to the boy, and he knows he knows the boy's history, obviously, because Sam was from this town. And he walks up, and it's this close up of the kid's face, and you just see Sam's gloved hand just kind of caressing his face like this and whispering to him. And I'm just gonna paraphrase what he says. He basically says, "I can get revenge on them, blah blah blah," blah blah blah. I'm wondering, is he gonna like stick his finger in his mouth and like molesting him, like, "Get away, kid"? Even my wife was watching, wondering, we were both yelling "stranger danger" at this scene, and we were like, that was awkward and unnecessary. So that whole kid scene, or that whole character, was just really retarded and not necessary. We could have just had Jody and Isaac Hayes kicking ass. They made a big deal about Isaac Hayes having, a wooden leg because he stepped on a landmine in the Korean War. Went nowhere. I would have loved it if he does he get the wooden leg ripped off by Uncle Sam, or if he uses the wooden leg to beat on Uncle Sam. Went nowhere. I don't know if that was to make Isaac Hayes' character sympathetic, but again, it was just nothing. However, I do like how they got rid of Uncle Sam. They literally take a cannon that is part of the 4th of July celebration. They shoot him with the cannon. It knocks him into the house, which explodes. Great explosion. And then Uncle Sam walks out with this, he's set on fire. And it's one of the coolest burning stunts, body set on fire stunts that I've seen in horror. I'm going to give super props to that. It's better than the Friday the 13th burn. Friday the 13th burn. Duh. Nightmare on Elm Street burn, in the original one when Freddy's set on fire, because you can see, they do the extra layers on the mask and stuff like that. It's better than the burning. The burning has a really good fire stunt, because I don't know if they slowed down the film to make it seem longer, but this just burn, this entire full body burn is amazing to look at, and props to the stunt guys. Overall, I don't regret watching Uncle Sam, but man, it's a chore to get through that first 40 minutes, after the opening sequence, because it's very slow. There's not really any character development. I don't really give a shit about anybody other than I'm interested about Isaac Hayes. But once Sam wakes up, I'm having a lot of fun, and I like how he gets his outfit. We're following some dude who obviously is working for the celebration, and he's Uncle Sam, dressed as Uncle Sam, but he's on those stilts, the stilt legs, so he's like 2 stories tall, and he's caught peeking in the window of a girl changing, and of course he runs away, and Uncle Sam, he falls, and Uncle Sam kills him with like garden shears or something like that. Pointless but funny. Overall, it's worth a watch. But it's definitely one of those films where it's better to watch with a group of people, beer and pizza, to laugh and kind of make fun of. Not great, but it's not the worst film I've ever seen. If you can survive the first 40 minutes, which is saying a lot because this is only, I think, an hour and a half. So almost half the film is very slow and boring. But once you get past that, I did have a lot of fun. Once the killing finally starts happening, um, I wish we could have had more PJ Souls or Robert Forster because they're actually big names. At least at the time, where Robert Forster was in Jackie Brown and PJ Souls has been in fucking everything. In the horror genre. So, yeah. Overall, I do somewhat recommend Uncle Sam. Get past that first 40 minutes, and you'll have a lot of fun. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. Comment below. Tell me if you've actually seen Uncle Sam. Tell me if you can handle the first 40 minutes. Yeah, don't know what else to say. Hope everyone has a nice, safe and happy 4th of July. Cheers, and God bless America.